Welcome back to my channel, guys. Let's sew a large tote bag with an adjustable strap today. It's basically got everything in it, from padding to quilting, attaching interfacing, and as well as the adjustable strap, which may sound intimidating, but I'm going to, as always, cut out the middleman and show you the easiest way to go about it. So stay tuned to see how to put it all together, and you might even be able to use some of these skills in some of your other projects. So getting myself set up, I'm first trying to exit this kids game, which you have to press exit about 1,000,000 times. Okay, I've got my earphones. They are called Volcano. I won't be able to link it because they were given to me by my husband as a gift. But if I was to recommend some earphones, these would be the ones. They just fit so amazingly. In fact, when I do have my hospital stays, I am able to sleep with them in and avoid any hospital noises and get a nice good night's sleep. So they are super comfy. The next thing that I bought myself is this awesome Bluetooth ring. Fits nicely on my finger, although it gets in the way for sewing, so I just have it on the side. But it's amazing in that I don't have to get up with my device being above me for recording. I don't have to keep standing up to press play and pause. I can simply just press the button. I was trying to find the details here for you guys in case you were interested in buying one for yourselves, but other than calling it a Bluetooth ring, it doesn't say much, but it is from Temu and there are many different options. I don't think it really matters too much. I wouldn't say that this one is perfect, but it does the job. So bulk sewing, I've got all my things cut up, but let's start with this bag. We're going to start with the pocket first, the front pocket, and we're going to iron on our interfacing. So depending on the strength of your fabric is what can determine the strength of your interfacing. So this fabric is pretty soft and stretchy, so I went for quite a firm interfacing. It just gives some structure to the bag. So just make sure to iron it on very nicely and get all those corners. Take your time when doing it so that it can be done properly. You don't want it to come loose afterwards. So you can also do the same for your flap. So both the front pocket and the flap for this project are attached interfacing. If you have a very stiff fabric, you might want to skip this, but I would recommend it still for some structure. So for this project, I attached interfacing to the one side of the main bag. The other side I'm going to attach some padding just to give it a bit of softness and some safety in case you were to put your tablet inside. But the other side I attach some interfacing just for structure. So again, choose the thickness of your padding. I go for a bit of a medium, and you can have so much fun with quilting. It might sound more complicated than what it actually is, and you can create your own design. So I sort of went for a little bit of a rainbow cross effect, and you can just use some pins, just hold it in place. Try to cut your padding a little bit bigger than your material, and you can just trim off the excess afterwards. But yeah, you can really have some fun in designing your own shape. You might want to pencil it out first, but I thought that this suited the bag quite nicely and didn't take too much away from the actual pattern. Okay, so we have all our pieces together. We're going to start with our pocket. You will see all the markings needed. Remember, the pattern is free of charge to all subscribers. Just comment and give me an address where I can email it to you. So taking both sides, right side to right side, and we're going to stitch across the top. It's about 1 centimeter seam allowance that I used, and then we open it out. Just press it nice and flat. and then fold it together, just making sure that it all lines up perfectly. And then the same thing again, we're going to top stitch it, and again just about 1 centimeter. Okay, now we're going to take our flap, again right side to right side, and this time we're going to stitch along the edge, so in the U shape. Remember, when stitching, always to back stitch. That means to go a little bit forward and then a little bit back, just to lock the stitch in place. Also, take your time going around the corners, just as you would if you were driving. Just be careful, going nice and neatly around the corners. And backstitch. Okay, then we just want to clip the corners. If you are a sewist, you know that this helps to, when you turn it around, it helps for the corners to lie nice and flat. Be very careful that you don't cut your thread. Just little snips. And now on your pattern you'll see a place to mark where the button is going to go, and so you'll see that on your pattern, and you'll just mark it over there. And now with the flap you're going to again just top stitch alongside there. This can also be 1 centimeter or maybe half a centimeter. It's just to give it a nice neat finish basically. Again, take your time around the corner. Okay, so let's mark where we're going to attach our magnetic clip to. If you're going to be using another clip, you can do this at a later stage, but these magnetic clips are really amazing, also from Temu. So you probably can't see the little marking, but I have it there. So we're going to first, on the flap, you're going to use, I think it's called the male part. It has the little bump, and you just press it. It's nice with having interfacing, it actually leaves a little mark. And then I just use my pen to mark where the clip should be pressed into, and it takes a little bit. Just use your seam ripper and just make little holes, and you just press it in there. Really nothing too complicated. Now you're going to do the same for your pockets, and the marking is also on the pattern provided to make sure that they line up. So now this is, I think, what they call the female part. And again, you just make the 2 little holes on the side, you stick it through, and then it has a little secure attachment, and you press it down, and there we go. You have your magnetic clips attached. Okay, moving on to our main part. We're going to lay the main part down, then the pockets facing, with the magnetic clip facing you on top, and we're going to clip that, making sure that it lines up nice and neatly. So make sure that the clip is facing you. Okay, then we're going to take our other main piece and lay it on top of that, and again make sure that everything is in place. So you're going to have your bottom main piece, your pocket in the middle, and your top main piece over, with right sides facing. Just clip it nicely so that we can put it all together. Right, now we're ready to go to the machine and stitch. Again, slowly around the corners, but 1 centimeter or half a centimeter seam allowance. Just make sure that you manage to catch the pocket, and take your time again with this, guys. When you're going over where the pocket is attached, you can even go over a few times just to make sure it's secure. Cut away any excess of the padding, especially so that it's not too bulky when you're turning it around.
This way. Wait for you.
Oh, this is South Africa, guys, and the lights went off, but we're back on again. Okay, so we can turn it inside out. We live out on a farm, so sometimes when I think there was a storm on the go, and so the lights went off, but we managed to restore it. Okay, so we've turned it inside out, we've pressed the pockets out nicely, and you can see the clip is on the outside. So when you turn it out, just make sure that the clip is facing, that you can see it once you've turned it. So that's looking really nice and neat, all lined up. And now we're ready to attach our flap. Okay, so for this we're going to take our flap, and we're going to make sure with the magnetic clip, again it's facing you. You're going to take the flap and only one side of the main inner, and you're going to stitch along there. So you're basically going to have 3 layers, and you're just going to do a single stitch across there. Just maneuver it as you need it in the sewing machine. So that's all nice and neatly attached. So when you flip it over, it will line up. If you followed your pattern piece, it will line up perfectly with the pocket. So there's the main part done. All that's left now, guys, is to attach the strap. So for this project, I used a purchased strap. I normally prefer to make my own, but this one suited the bag. So you need a D-ring and a slider. I'm going to make a separate video of how to make this strap, just so that you can give it your full attention. Also, sometimes you want to buy an already made strap, so let me just show you in this video how to attach it. So you just line it up center to center down the side of your pocket. Make sure not to catch the flap, so it will just line up perfectly with the middle of the strap lining up with the middle of the pockets, and then you're just going to stitch across there. Okay, that's now nicely attached. And make sure that, obviously, before you stitch the strap, make sure that it slides nicely and it all works out. So I've made it as small as it can go, and now we're going to tuck it into the main pocket, making sure that the side of the straps are sitting nice and flush against the side. We have one more part to go, so you guys are doing very well. In under 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how to put this all together. Right, so I took a beautiful silk fabric. There's my infamous rocks, my weights. I find them to be so handy because of the different shapes. You can lay them out just as you need them. So this was the same measurement as for the outside of the bag. This is just the lining. You could normally fold your lining, unless it's a pattern, then be careful, you don't want it to end up upside down on the one side. But because this was a silky fabric, I decided to cut it separately, one piece at a time. You could also draw around it and then cut it out, but as you know me, I like to take the shortcut. No middleman, let's just get to it and let's get it done. There we go, now you have your lining. So what you want to do is place them right side together and sew along the edge. I had to be quite careful here because it was a beautiful silk fabric. So again, we're just going to sew, but we're going to leave a gap. That's going to allow us to turn the bag inside out. First, I had to take a little break. I just had to send a reply to this beautiful family. I think the documentary I was watching was called Saving Ben, about a little boy. Well, I won't give the story away. You can go and have a look. But just basically about how the parents were such good advocates for his health, and they listened to their intuition and did the very best that they could. And so I admired that. So I just wanted to send a little well done. Okay, so here we have our interfacing, and we're placing our bag inside. Okay, this is going to also always right side to right side. So the right side of the interfacing is facing the right side of your bag. Line it up nice and neatly with the seams lining up. You can pin it. It doesn't matter if your lining is a little bit larger than your bag, because it will sit nicely once it goes inside. Okay, so take your time, clip it nicely. This is the last part. Well, I'll say we are 98% done. You'll see the final part, which it could be optional. It'll be up to you. And also if you're selling the bags, okay, so we're going to stitch around the top, but if you're selling the bags, you will want to maybe also add a tag. So I've done that, and I don't know how many times I do this. Turning a bag inside out is always so exciting for me. So make sure your gap is big enough, and I would encourage you, instead of pulling on your lining, rather pull on the fabric on the inside, so that you're careful. And when you are stitching your lining, make sure to go over it quite a few times so that it doesn't rip when you're pulling your bag out, especially by the opening. Okay, so there we have it. Nice, and it's caught the strap nicely. It's covered all the hidden insides of your sewing. So now let's just close up our little opening. And you can also do a top stitch all around the bag if you want to. Tuck it nicely inside. Make sure it fits nicely. Now, just for a neat finish, again, you don't have to do this, but I like to finish my projects off as neatly as possible, is just to sew around the edge. And there we have it. Okay, for the final part of this project, I just want to attach my logo, as I do sell these bags. So I take my time in deciding which color suits the bag. Again, I try to match the D-rings and the slider of the strap to the magnetic clip. So if it's gold, I tend to lean towards those colors. If it's a warmer color or a more of a cool color, so take your time. So while I'm doing this, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. Your support would mean a great deal to me, and every click counts. So also comment and let me know what you think. So there's our bag, beautiful crossover bag. You can just wear it normally or cross it over, and you will be so proud. And it's machine washable as well. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please give me a like and a subscribe. I'll appreciate all your support. Until next time, bye.